Thank you. Well, there is a little story that goes along with the Bella Donna song and the Wild Heart song. So first of all, the Bella Donna record that was done in 3 months and put out and had the hit single was very, very successful. So I then became a girl from a very big band that did a solo record that did really, really well. So I was thrilled. We had time to throw together a small tour, so we went on the road for a couple weeks. We also managed to film it at the Beverly Wilshire Theater in Los Angeles, which thank goodness, because the tour was cut very short because I got a phone call from my other boss. And they said, we're in Paris at the Honky Chateau, 40 miles outside of Paris. We've been here for 4 weeks and we need you now. We need you now. And it was like, oh, great, okay. So I told Waddy, we have to wrap this up. It's like today. And so we did. We wrapped the tour up like really fast, and I packed a bag, and off I went to Paris. And you know, it could have been worse. I could have been like, off I went to Siberia. So, but at least it was Paris. However, it had its big faults. So I get there. I'm by myself. This is like pre-assistant that did most everything for you. This is like you're looking at your assistant. You're looking at her. Here she is. So I'm off there with my couple bags, and I get there, and a car picks me up, probably one of those long black limousines that I by then had started to hate, and took me 40 miles outside of Paris. So Paris was getting very far behind me, and we drove up, and I got out of the car, and with my bags, and this big, massive castle. And the first thing that I want, because I've been in the car for 40 years, it seems like, and I'm like, I want like some iced tea. Well, there's no ice in Paris, or outside of Paris. There's no ice in France, period. So all there was tea and Lindsay. Yes. So. And of course, so I go, you know, lumping in my high heel leather boots, which I wore every day and every evening of my life until I got too old to do that. Same boots, basically. So I'm lumping up. So I get there, and I am aware that I already in the trunk of lost songs. I pretty much got my Mirage songs written, because I have all these thousands of songs I've written over the last 5, 6, 7 years. So I am going to work on the second record, because I'm worried that the fact that Bella Donna was very successful, and it was put out, and blah blah, and then I was off to Fleetwood Mac, and that what was going to happen was the world was going to think that Bella Donna was just a fluke. So I went to Paris on a mission, not just to obviously work on Mirage, but in all that time I stayed up every night, all night long by myself, to write everything for Wild Heart. The song was already written. A couple of other songs was already written, so I spent every spare minute writing the songs for Wild Heart. And so Mirage was done. I don't even remember. It's a blur. I don't know. Anyway, the record was done. We went on a fairly good, normal tour. And the second that tour was over, I called Jimmy Iovine and said, Jimmy, next record, it's called Wild Heart. Wild Heart, it's done. I've written the song, and I've written a bunch of other songs. I'm ready to go. I'll be home in a week. Book a studio. Can you do that? And he said, still being my boyfriend, he said, yeah, okay, I'll do it. All right. So I said, I'm on my way home. So I went home. We went straight into the studio. Now, Wild Heart was not near as easy as Bella Donna was, because Bella Donna was focused and organized, and I was totally like on point. Well, by this time, I was 2 records more famous, a little more spoiled, definitely more crazy, and I just raged in there, wild-hearted out, right? And it's like, so it took us longer. It was not a 3-month record. It took longer. It was a lot of fun, but it was very fragmented and crazy, and there were some arguments, and it was exactly what. Don't name a record Wild Heart if that's not what you're expecting to happen. So anyway, we finished it, and it was insane. but I loved it. And it was totally different than Bella Donna, which was exactly what it needed to be, totally different than Bella Donna. So we put it out. It did great. Went straight to the top. And so what happened, why I love Wild Heart the most is because Wild Heart is what made the whole thing happen. Had Wild Heart not been successful, then it would have just been, Bella Donna would have just been a fluke. But because Wild Heart did really, really well on its own, it meant that Bella Donna was not a fluke. And more important than that, Stevie Nicks' solo career was not a fluke. Oh, happy day. So, that's the basic stories of those two songs. Bella Donna was done on stage for the short tour. Wild Heart, because it's such a damn hard song, was never done on stage. So, until now. So you just actually heard it during this little small, I mean, it's not a small tour, but it's 40 shows. We're going into 40 shows. It's a first. So anyway, the last part of my story is this cake. This is the original Bella Donna cake, the only Bella Donna cake. So it was made in 1982, so I'm going to show you. As you can see, it is in perfect shape. There's not one fringe that's missing. There's not one hole in it. It's like it was made yesterday. It cost $2,000 in 1982. Now, my mother, if she were here right now, if I told my mother in 1982 that this cost $2,000, she would fall over dead. And if I told her today that it cost $2,000, she would also fall over dead. She's actually not here anymore, so I can't even tell her. But she did know later on in life that these things cost more than she thought. My mom was very frugal. She tried very hard to make me be a frugal person my whole life. She didn't do a good job on that part, but I did get a little. But if she were here now, she would say to me, I'm gonna be here now. Well, Stevie, this was a very good choice of fabric because, you know, this is silk chiffon and that's what they make sails for boats out of. So, even though it costs $2,000, if you divide 30 years into $2,000, that's a really good deal. You did good. So that's my Bella Donna Wild Heart, and just for you, Mom, story. Thank you.